I think I'm still Bryon Powell of iRunFar, here with Dakota Jones at the finish line of the North Face 50. I have no idea where he got that. You've been here 3 straight years, right?
3 years in a row. Finally got some money. Finally got the podium, I mean.
You are young money, I gotta say.
All right.
So were you like 9th the first year? Or what?
I was like 14th.
14th.
It was like my second 50-mile race.
And then 4th.
Good learning experience. Last year I came back and managed to get 4th. That was a really cool race, really kind of a breakout race for me. And this year I was able to come back and have like the most incredible race of my life. And get second. It was great.
Tell us a little bit how that race was so incredible. I mean, like, what? Yeah. I mean, we'll get into the play-by-play in a minute, but what happened today?
You know, I really got to get distracted by my mom and my aunt who were behind the camera.
Okay, you guys can get in front of the camera for a second.
This is my crew. This is the reason I did so well today.
This is the Dakota fan club.
Charge! Anyway. She fell over.
Sorry, one of the...
All right.
The sister fell.
Let's get back to the subject. So what happened is...
We're very serious here.
I ran really hard today. And that was because there was a huge amount of competition. And that's why this race is so cool. Because several factors, end of the year, there's a lot of money, all kinds of things. They bring this huge level of competition here. And that's what I love. You know, I think that competition makes us perform at a much higher level than we would otherwise, and I could definitely tell that today. And so, we went out. There was a huge pack for probably half the race, and then around mile 28, Mike Wolf and I were able to break away from the pack, and we ran really close together until mile 46, and then he managed to pull ahead, and I am just so impressed with him because he ran an incredible race, and I couldn't be happier with second place. Mike deserved first place, and I did everything I could, and it's the best race I've ever run, I think.
It's one of the things I've heard from a couple competitors today, whether they were 2nd or 7th or 12th, they ran their butts off, had a great race.
Yeah.
And didn't win. These are people who've won huge races before.
Yeah. It's cool. That's the thing. It's like the competition here is just, it's such a high level that we run. The race is just so much more intense. And today was also a spectacular day. Like, the weather was perfect. The trails were in ideal condition. Everything went perfectly, I think. I'm just really good experience.
I mean, so last year you're here. I don't know if it was like 35 miles to go. You pull ahead. You actually, due to circumstances, you're in the lead alone.
Jeff and I was in the lead.
Briefly, yeah.
And then Jeff caught up to me. We ran together for a long time. And, I had a pretty similar experience with Jeff last year as what I had with Mike this year. Except, I'd say with Mike this year we ran together for the whole race until mile 46. Yeah. Mike was with the huge pack through mile 28, and then it was just Mike and I. So, last year we had kind of the same thing, but this year was cool to see direct improvement, whereas last year at Muir Beach, roughly mile 42, there's a big climb out of there, and Jeff dropped me there. But this year I was able to stick with Mike. We were pretty far ahead of everyone, and we hammered it pretty hard, but I was able to stick with him, and that was really encouraging. Yeah. Then, of course, the next climb, Mike dropped me. But
so out of Tennessee
maybe
Valley,
next year.
Out of Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, Tennessee Valley.
That's sort of gotten the name now. Somebody mentioned it to me at the aid station there. It's a $10,000 hill. Like, so many of these races, it's actually come down to that final climb.
Yeah.
And like Mike Wolf was saying, he was just doing everything he could to you were catching him on the downhills. Yeah. Early in the race.
Yeah, because
he's sort of accordion.
Well, he actually did pull ahead of me quite a bit at the top of the Muir Beach climb, and then downhill I caught him, and part of me was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to keep competing. It's gonna be hard. But, that was actually really cool. So I caught him there, and it was funny because I'd had a lot of, you think about a race a lot ahead of time, and, I'd kind of had like a vision, maybe not a vision, but I'd thought about that, like, what if I come into Tennessee Valley close with someone? What am I going to do? What's that going to feel like? Yeah. So I know what it feels like. It hurts a lot. Like, my crew was there. They're awesome, and I wasn't talking. I didn't answer any questions. I said what I wanted, drank some water, and left.
I've seen you at a ton of races. Like, whenever I see you, I say something, you say something back. At Tennessee Valley?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot to give there. But that's what's so cool about this race, is that I was running at my absolute limit. And there's not a whole lot of times in your life you can say that.
Yeah.
So
when did you know that your limit was reached and you weren't going to catch Mike Wolf? Was there any point where you're just like, I'm just gonna run it in?
No, I wouldn't say that. Well, I mean, maybe I realized it after some certain amount of time, but out of Tennessee Valley, I was just behind him, maybe 20 feet back, and he just kept going, kept pulling it ahead, stretching it out a little bit more as we went, and I was giving it everything I had. There was no way I could have run faster, and he managed to pull ahead, and after a while, he was like out of sight, kind of around some turns, and I was, you realize that it's like, that's it, because we still had a ways to go to the top, and I wouldn't catch him on the downhill. So I kind of knew, but that didn't make me slow down.
Yeah, you still gave it all you had.
Yeah, because how much would that suck to slow down and then get caught? Oh, God.
And that's actually a perfect segue to what I was thinking about. Like, you're racing your butt off against Mike Wolf, and there are like the ultra running all-star list behind you.
Yeah. Somebody was, they give us splits here and there, and I kept hearing the name Jeff Rose because Jeff Rose.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he didn't have the race that he wanted to today. I think he was 5th. He's done much better. I think he could have caught up with us on a good day, but Jeff's track record is incredible. And so I was like, oh my God, Jeff's gonna catch us. Jeff's gonna catch us. Fortunately, he didn't. So, yeah.
So we didn't chat before the race this year. What was a little bit of your training in the last couple of months? I mean, you focused on hard rock for so long.
Yeah. And then after hard rock, it took a lot out of me. And I knew it. I mean, I could feel it, obviously. Mentally and physically, I was just depleted after hard rock. But I had UTMB ahead. I knew I had to do that.
Yeah.
And so I forced myself to train for it, and I really didn't enjoy the training for it. And then I went out there and I dropped out because I didn't enjoy the race. And it was just a bad situation. I feel like that was a failure, but a failure from which I will learn a lot, which I already did learn a lot. Kind of too bad to do that, but it happened. That's behind me. So after that, I was like, okay, I need to rejuvenate. So I took like a full month off pretty much. I mean, I didn't run for probably 2.5 weeks, and then I'd go out and run 5 miles twice a week or something. And what was cool is that I started wanting to run again, which, I mean, that kind of makes sense, but I think I got to the point where I was so into forcing myself to run, like so used to it, that I didn't realize that that's a thing. Like that you would like really just want to go run. But I did. I would get out and I'd get up and I'd be like, man, I really want to go for a run. I did that. And I kept running more and more, and then I was doing like 60 mile weeks, and I was like, all right, well, it's like mid-October, I better start training. So I did, and then I went down to the Grand Canyon in the first week of November and set the record there.
Well done.
It was just a really good run. Went out there with some friends, had a great trip, ran in a beautiful place. It was such a cool trip. And then after that, I didn't want to do so much longer stuff because I wanted to recover, which was actually perfect for this because I had a real good long, like 42-mile hard run for training, and then I did a lot of shorter, faster stuff to kind of recover, but also be training. And I think it worked out really well. I think this is like the best training cycle I've ever had, and I feel like it paid off. That was a lot of talking.
So you only had a couple years. I mean, in 2+ years in the ultra scene. Like, what have you learned during that time that you're gonna use going into next year? Is there anything like any improvements you're like really psyched to make training wise or racing wise?
It's kind of a broad question. I don't have a set answer. I'm no politician, but I mean, I'll race less for sure. I think I've said this before and not followed through on it, but I think it's cool to pick races that really mean a lot and space them out adequately and then focus on them. My problem this year, I think, was that I was racing once or sometimes twice a month, and that burned me out after hard rock. I mean, by like the middle of hard rock. So so I'll do that, and just to enjoy it. Just like I said, I mean, it just felt so good once I started getting back into running after taking time off after UTMB, to just be going out there. It's become such a part of my life to just go out and run through the mountains for hours, and I think I'd kind of forgotten that for a while.
So you're going to take some more time to recharge the batteries, or you're still like, I want to go out, maybe not tomorrow, but next week when you're back home or back at school, you're going to go put in some
I'm
miles?
not going to race
Not
for
race,
several
but-
months.
yeah.
Probably not till March or April. But I will be running. That's what I do. I like running. But I'm also going to try to do some other things through the winter. Not because the winters, it's kind of sucks to run in Colorado in the winter. It's snowy and cold, and I don't want to have to force myself to do it. So I'll probably be doing some skiing, some other things, and just kind of not have to compete for a while.
Yeah. When you do get that competitive juice flowing, is there anything on next year's schedule that, if you get in or you...
Well, the
that you
Hard
really-
Rock Lottery is tomorrow, and
Dale, are you watching?
yeah, Dale, this is you, man. I hope that works out. That would be the main goal. Do it in the other direction from this year, and
Get your,
hopefully do a bit better with some more experience. I'll probably do maybe 250s before that. I was thinking about one in California, Leona Divide. I was thinking about that. I've got a few on the list. I'm not sure, really. But
Hard Rock's the...
yeah, that'd be the one.
In the unfortunate circumstance you don't get into Hard Rock, is there anything...
Yeah, I haven't really planned it out all that much. I was thinking maybe UTMB again. I'm gonna have to go back there eventually, I think, and do it right.
So you're still excited about the race?
Yeah, it is a cool race, and it's a race that's worth doing right. So, cool. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on a great race.
Thanks, Bryon.
And 2 days in advance, happy birthday.
All right. All right.